Okay, Stepwells. So I'm assuming you've watched the YouTube videos, so I don't need to go super slowly. You've seen a lot of the techniques that I use, and we can just get straight into this. What have we got over here? We've got a true, false, not given. 5 of those, 3 of these short questions, and a table with 1, 2, 3, 5. Great, so I would advise going straight for the table. It's usually a bit easier, and it looks like there's some easy scanning language over here. So immediately we can just, I would go and find the things in this column over here. It will probably be in the second half. It'll probably be here because the true, false, not given will probably come from the beginning. And yes, they've put it in italics, so we can see that they've taken the table from the second page over here. Then let's just get started immediately. And then what we want to do is check the grammar, see if the grammar helps us with anything. Despite the excellent condition, despite the something of 2001, this could be anything, noun, verb, adjective, nothing. Steps on the something produce a geometrical pattern, again it could be anything. You must look at this verb, but in this example this verb doesn't help us because the produce is talking about the steps. It's the main part of this noun phrase. So this is produce, not produces, because this has got an S over here, steps. So unfortunately that doesn't help us over there. This could be single, plural, whatever, because this is a preposition phrase. Right, looks more like great, so we know that's a singular noun. Very nice. Has something which provide. Now please look here, there is important grammar to notice. Pause the video and take a look, because you must notice this. And what you should notice is that this verb does not have an S, and that means that this noun over here, the subject, is plural. Not uncountable, not singular. So we're going to have a word here that has an S. So that actually helps us a lot. Has 2 something levels. So what kind of words should that be? Of course, that should be an adjective. So it helps us a lot. No, no, but yes, single, yes, plural, and yes, adjective. A little bit of help there. So immediately let's dive straight in. We want that. Look for 2001 in this paragraph with Rani Kivavi. Rani Kivav there. 2001 over here. So what did they say? This Stepwell is in excellent condition despite the something of 2001. So this is going to be bad because this is a contrast marker. This is good. So this is like a however, although, but. And that means that this, whatever this thing, it's not positive. It's a negative thing because the positive is here and there's a contrast marker over there. So we're looking for a noun in that 2001 sentence, and it's negative. Incredibly, this ancient structure survived an earthquake that measured something on the Richter scale. Where is the bad thing in this sentence? Where is a single noun? There's a single noun, there's a single noun, there's a single noun. But of course, it survived the earthquake. The earthquake is the bad thing. So that fits in quite well over here. That's an earthquake. It's a noun, it's not such a good thing. Always read it just to make sure it makes sense. The Stepwell is in good condition, even though there was an earthquake. It survived the earthquake. So that's great, makes sense. So again, we don't know what this is. We know that it's a noun. Steps on the something produce a geometrical pattern. Surya Kund looks more like a something than a well. These are in the same paragraph, so we can find them together. I think we're going to look for steps or geometrical pattern. Surya Kund is here, steps, geometrical pattern. There's geometrical formation and there's steps. So that's over here. But one interesting thing that they've done here, actually, let's see if you can find this one. Looks like. Can you see a word for looks like? IELTS often uses this. It's a very good word to remember. Can you see the word in this paragraph that means looks like? And that's it over there. The resembles means looks like. It's a good word. Add it to your vocabulary list. So as you can see, an interesting thing that they've done here is they've gone back a little bit. Number 11 comes before number 10. And they can do that inside a paragraph. They won't usually do it with a table. They won't do it between paragraphs. But inside a paragraph, sometimes they do it. Not often. Anyway, so the looks like is quite straightforward because we know that we're looking for a single noun and looks like. So it's right there. It's right in front of the word resembles, there's our single noun over there. It looks like a tank. So that's quite straightforward. This one, my students always get it wrong. But let's take a look. Maybe you got it right. Steps on the something produce a geometrical pattern. Where are the steps? They are on the something. 4 sides of steps that descend to the bottom in a stunning geometrical formation. Now we know we're looking for a noun, so it could be sides, it's not going to be steps, it could be bottom, it's not going to be formation because that's the synonym for pattern. So it's either sides or it's bottom. All of my students put bottom, but you need to read it and understand it. This means go down. So this well has 4 sides, 4 walls with steps, and the steps go down to the bottom. The steps are not on the bottom. The steps go to the bottom. The steps are actually on the sides of the well, on the walls of the well. You just needed to concentrate a little bit about the meaning with that one. It's not on the bottom. They go to the bottom. But if you got it wrong, don't feel bad. Everybody seems to get that one wrong. Right. Skip. Chan Bowery has Old Deep 11 Stories has something which provide a view of the steps. I think that's the only real keyword we have here. And remember we're looking for plural. You should actually write somewhere there on your test plural, something like that, just to remind you, because it's easy. You do the grammar at the beginning and then you forget that you're looking for something plural when you come to it. So write it there. So what provides a view of the steps? Chand Bowery paragraph. Chand Bowery is there. Provides a view of the steps. There's the 11 stories. Striking pattern. There's something about seeing. Maybe that's view. On the 4th side, verandas. Overlook the steps. There we go. A view of the steps. Overlook the steps. Now, we want a plural noun. Do the verandas overlook the steps or do the pillars overlook the steps? It's one of those two because we're looking for a plural. You need to know the grammar here. This is the main verb of this whole clause, and this verb actually connects with this, the first noun, the main part of the subject. So it's the verandas which overlook the steps, not the pillars. The pillars just support the verandas. So our answer is there, verandas. And finally, has 2 levels. This is a good thing to scan for. 2 levels, maybe they'll paraphrase. Nimranaki Bowery has 2 something levels. There we go. 9 stories deep, the last 2 being underwater. There is the synonym for levels, stories. And the last 2 are underwater. Remember, we're looking for an adjective about these 2 levels. Verb to be, so it's adjective after the verb to be. These 2 levels are underwater. That means 2 underwater levels. Great, I think you can zoom through that. The grammar helped you a little bit. A lot of easy scanning language. Nothing really tricky. The only trick was that 11 came before 10. But remember, they can do that inside a paragraph. Now, what to do next? Normally I would say this, but the problem is they can take this from anywhere. Remember, they can take this from the beginning, this from the middle, this from the end. So it could be, and often they do, they spread this out over the whole passage. So take a look at it, but be prepared to skip one and come back to it later. What I would look for is scan for that. Another very important thing, there's nothing really over here. That is the keyword, but that can be anything. This could be anywhere. This could be anywhere, but I want to find that. That's very important. Another very important thing to notice is that. Remember the structure of these things. This whole passage is about the past. And then in the last paragraph, they talk about the present. Many passages talk about the present and the past, and then in the last paragraph, they talk about the future. But in this case, everything is the past, and here they're talking about the present. So that was a very important word, because that is the nowadays over there. But let's see if we can scan for southern Rajasthan. the table started here. They might not use all those again. Maybe you could scan backwards. If you scan backwards, you would see that it's there very quickly. But if you didn't, it's not a problem. Rajasthan is actually in quite a few places, but remember we're looking for southern Rajasthan. And if you scan, you'll see that southern Rajasthan is over there. This is why I say it might be better to do these ones first, because then you know where IELTS has taken these from, and then you can go to the places where they haven't taken it from and start scanning there. But anyway, we found it. I would come back to that one later. So actually that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip these. Let's pretend we don't know where they're from. We do these first and come back to those. But if you want, you can do these first. It's not a problem. Right. Now, target language. If you don't know what target language is, go and watch my video on YouTube about true, false, not given. Which of these has target language? Examples of ancient stepwells can be found all over the world. It could be this, like everywhere. I'm not going to do circles because it takes too long on this computer. So you should circle them. I'm just going to highlight them. Maybe that's the target language. Maybe the modal, but I don't think in this example. A range of functions in addition to those. So this means many different functions. So that could be target language. The few existing in Delhi are more attractive than those found elsewhere. So this is definitely target language. Remember, IELTS loves to do true, false, not given with this more and most thing. It took workers many years to build the stone steps. Yeah, I would say that's target language. The number of steps above the water level in a step well changed during the course of a year. I don't really see anything more, most, increased, decreased. So I would look at that. I would say that is the target language. Did it change or did it not change? But this one I'm not 100% sure about, number 5. Anyway, so let's look. Examples of stepwells can be found all over the world. This one, they started with a difficult one. Is there anything about all over the world? This is just place. And then you had to just look a little bit further. You see, we're actually looking for something about where these things are found. So maybe it's that, but then also here they're talking about place. And this is actually the key phrase that you're looking for this question. It's actually a vocabulary question. They're testing your knowledge of that word. Do you know what unique means? Unique means like only one, or only in this place, or only this thing. So the stepwells are unique to this region, this area. That means they are only found in this region. And that means they are not found all over the world. They are found only in this region. So this was a test of this word unique. It was difficult because we couldn't find our scanning language. We couldn't find examples. We couldn't find world. And that's why this was a difficult one. So anyway, that was false because they are unique to that region. You can't find them all over the world. So cannot or not in that region. Stepwells had a range of functions in addition to those related to water collection. Did they have many functions, many different functions, or was it only really water collection? And here, again, it doesn't say functions, and it doesn't say range, and it doesn't even say water collection, but it does say places to gather, places to meet people, places of leisure and entertainment, places of relaxation, places of worship. So it had all of these different functions, and they are all different things. So that's where your answer is. Again, a very difficult one. Yes, it had a range of functions. You could go back a little bit. There's access to the water. That's where the water collection is. This is all for water, water, water. And then all of these are the other functions. So yes, there is a range of functions, not only collecting water. Meeting people, relaxing, worshipping God, all of those things. So yes, they did have a range of functions. The few existing stepwells are more attractive than those found elsewhere. Are they more attractive or not? in Delhi. Delhi is our scanning language, and there's Delhi over there. Just look around. Do you see Delhi, Delhi, Delhi anywhere else? Not really, so just make sure that it's there. So are they more attractive? This is where they are found, and there's also some in Delhi, but it doesn't say anything about them being more attractive, less attractive, or as attractive. So the target language is not there, so that's not given. It took workers many years to build the steps characteristic of Stepwells. How many years did it take them? Where's the workers? Now I can't find workers and I can't find years. Well, I can find years. I think this is a not given, but I think they're trying to trick us with this over here. I think that's the sort of target sentence, even though it's not given. They're saying over the years, many years, hundreds of years, thousands of wells were constructed. So they're just saying thousands of wells were constructed over a long period of time. They don't say anything about how long it took the workers. So that's definitely not given, and I can't really see workers anywhere else, so I think that's what they were trying to get at. But anyway, it's not given because we can't see anywhere about how long it actually took the workers to build one of these. It's not a nice one because it makes us go all the way forward here, even though it's not given, and then the next answer is back. So if you couldn't find that one, just skip it. The number of steps above the water level in a stepwell changed during the course of a year. We want water level. So we were over here. There's steps from ground level to the water source. So that's the water level. As it recedes following the rains. When the water level was high, the user needed to go down a few steps. When this means the water level, water level was low, only several steps had to go down. So sometimes the water level was high, sometimes the water level was low. So that means it changed over the course of the year. Sometimes it was high, sometimes it was low. It altered, it changed. So that is yes. So then it would have been good if you skipped this number 4, because now we can go back. We don't have to look at this or anywhere else. They just try to trick you here and make you look there. And we can just look here. There's nothing here about the workers and how long it took them to build it. So we can see that one is not given. All right. Not an easy true, false, not given, definitely. It wasn't easy to actually find everything because the not givens, that you can't find them because they're not there. And that can confuse you. Anyway, so now we know that we're up to here. So I would start scanning for these ones from after that. So we want shade, we want Southern Rajasthan, we want nowadays. We found the nowadays over there. They do it often with these questions. They don't put them all in the same place. They'll have some of them in the same place and then one or two far away from that. Just remember with these questions, they do that. So nowadays is over there. We want shade and we want Southern Rajasthan. So you probably start scanning over here. Can you see anything about shade? This is a band 8 kind of question. Southern Rajasthan you can scan for as well, and we see that over there. But let's look at the shade one first. Can you see the shade? Built from stone and... What is shade? Shade is the place where there is no sun. Under a tree, under a roof. That's where the shade is. And this is talking about the shade. Shelter visitors from the heat. The heat here means the sun. So what sheltered the visitors from the heat? It's these pavilions sheltered the visitors from the heat. It was a difficult one. Which part of some stepwells provide shade is shelter them from the heat. All right, not a very easy one. But you needed to know that word and then maybe you could find it. In southern, we find Southern Rajasthan now. Serious climatic event, something about the climate mentioned in the article. Southern Rajasthan is over here. Southern Rajasthan suffered an 8-year drought between then and then. So Climate, I think you know what climate is. A climate event is a drought. Serious, it lasted 8 years, so that's the serious. So it was a drought that happened. Then last one, who are frequent visitors to Stepwells nowadays? Very important that you notice this. With these questions you must notice this, because here we're looking for a type of person. Anyway, there, can you see a type of person who visits? There's only one type of person that they talk about here, and it's tourists. Please notice that means we're looking for a plural noun. Again, the grammar helps us. This means we're looking for a word that ends with S. Otherwise they would say who is. Then it's a single or an uncountable. So tourists are. Alright, all in all, not a very bad one. I think you can get 5 there. You can get a couple of those, maybe 3 and 2. So 10 out of 13, I think, easy. And then some of you will get higher than that. Anything else I want to say? Yeah, start with that. I think an important thing to notice about this one is these short answer questions can be difficult to find. Don't waste time. Maybe it's best to do them last, because then you will be able to find things a little bit easier. Great, let's move on to the next one.